Hi, welcome to the SUSE QE Tools workshop. Today I would like to do some co-working with you. So we have selected one topic that is ticket 164018. That was a recent request. I have it opened here already at about allowing qemu storage devices to use a different block size. So that was created by Jay Lauso. And what is done by default is that a qcar file is created, and then that one is accessed with just the default. And the idea is to have specific parameters to set the logical block size and physical block size, and there's also a block ticket reference and one test option suggested already. So that was already looked at by, there's a pull request, we can take a look at that. That one was created by 469, I guess, yep. And maybe we can continue with what was started there. So there's logical block size and physical block size introduced as attributes to block def. And yeah, so it's not as straightforward as in backend qemu, just reading vars and then a new variable and then using that, because we have this a bit more complicated structure of how the storage devices are handled, and also they can be multiple for any virtual machine. So let's see if the perimeter is defined, then we add logical block size. I don't know. I shared a local screen here. I'm just thinking, so that's my working copy of Ors Orderst. I'm just thinking we could find something regarding block sizes in tests, maybe. So there's backend qemu, and in backend qemu we already handle snapshot devices and such. So maybe we can extend that tests. Let's take a look which of those are actually about qemu. There's 18 qemu options, backend qemu, and 12 BMW qemu. What's 18 qemu? I guess what we want is the backend qemu. Wow. Oh, but this is also about block def. All right. So maybe we can take a look into that, because that's like testing OpenK qemu block def conf.
And it adds a drive. That's probably what we want here.
Yeah. So how about like in a test we expect that we would be able to add the block device and physical device settings.
I guess we need one where we have more than one device at least, so we can check that it was only added to one, right? Because that's why we can't use the generic options here.
Right. It's like you have one which is this setting, and then another one that it should be per device. So first I'm by the way, can you clearly read it on the share screen?
Yeah, the screen looks good.
Right, so you can also follow up with the source code, which is in Ors Orderst itself. It shows a little bit of this screen distortions when I shared that teammate. So there's this small.
There's a little when the
hollow
screen
blocks.
changes
Yeah.
intermittently.
generate qemu command line, multipath command line, and then about handling the errors, and then this is block dev images. So if I read correctly, this is really all about just checking the generated strings, which is fine. That's what we want, because we can trust if we do test, I mean, we can also test it out once manually, that if we do add those command lines, then qemu should be able to read those. Struggling a little bit to understand like what the individual blocks of the test should be doing. Generate qemu command, convert with snapshots. Then we add 10 snapshots. That's nice. And we're only halfway through the test. Jeez. Non-existing ISO drive device. Maybe something about drive device. Relative assets. qemu was killed due to the system being out of memory. Okay, that's nice. Configure controllers. Configure block devs. Configure pflash. Connect QMP. Revert to snapshot. And we are done. Interesting. It looks like this is the right test, and not backend. So this is about using multiple threads. That's just some handling of coverage. I'm just trying to get an overview who worked on those. So Tina Müller has worked on covering qemu proc completely. Oh, that was a lot. BMDK driver, right? This is just reformatting and look big, but just reformatting. Okay, so many different people have worked on those. Let's first call it. No, sorry, that won't work. I need to go to the top directory and then call it like this. What is successful? All right, I guess we can add it somewhere in the middle because we don't want to talk about reverting to snapshot. Configure pflash. So those are like special things. Rather somewhere here. Configure block devs exec. Possibly.
Is there one where we could examine the block device to see if it has the right parameters? Because that's where they added, right? The block device.
So I'm thinking about either printing those or just dying on the right place of the code to get somewhere near. So there is this long list of variables with block dev settings. I guess that one already sets really multiple ones, right? What's the
But that's like the full command line.
But where is this coming from? We're calling qemu proc, so I think that's a different thing because we are starting the qemu process with those variables. So I guess we want to go up further here where we would generate that command line. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, so the block dev has these
like
what's it called?
here, block
Params?
gen qemu image command lines.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that. So, okay, starting again from top. What's the first thing that we do? We create a block device and we add a drive and we generate a command line and then we compare the generated command line with the command line which we expect to be added. And that calls add new drive. Can we add an optional argument to add new drive to add that new drive with a sector size or something? So this is testing compress, okay. Maybe really just here in the middle. I guess that would work. So let's do it like this. Oh no, wait. This is the here. So what if we call BDC, that's a block dev conf, add new drive. How about we add a second one? And that could be something different so that we actually see a difference. And then let's say that we add this additional parameter for sector size. And we know that what we expect, let me switch back in the browser. What we would expect is that we have this here added. So in our test, we should be able to say that this is there, but wait, it needs to be on device. Right. So it's actually the last entry is replaced. So it's I'm not pushing to the array, but what I'm doing instead is I'm adding to that one. Can I add a string to the array element? Maybe I can.
If you push it, right?
No, I want to. Hi Jose, we're just working on the requests that you came up and trying to do that in a pair programming session, sorry, in a mob session. So this is the device perimeter. And on the device perimeter, we would like to add logical block size and width.
Right, it needs to be part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the last element of the array. And then we add it there. And then we add the drive, or put it like this. And then we would call gen command line, and we compare that the generated command line is the same as this one. No, okay, wait, that would be, actually, I think it might be cleaner if we create a new config and then we say generate for drive with 4K sector size. Okay. Now, what will happen if I call this? What do you expect? I expect a syntax error on the plus equal for the array thingy, but maybe it does execute and the is deeply fails because it's missing the 4096. Or add new drive will fail because it might already use signatures and it would say that it doesn't know a fourth parameter. Those are the three options that I envision. Let's try it out. So argument isn't numeric in addition, right? So that's the first option, which I expected. What I will do, I will do this and concatenate with a dot and then this. Now I understand I can just use that operation. So not plus equal, but dot equal, right? And that worked, and it did not complain about the additional parameters. What is numQs? I wasn't aware that we have a numQ. Okay, but obviously the got and expected differ. So add new drive already has additional parameter, which does something different. That's cool. Apparently. So qemu proc. No, wait. Qemu block def on add new drive already takes a parameter which is numQs. See. Now this might be ugly, but let's try how far we can come. So I'm setting sector size equals undef, means by default it doesn't need a value. Same here. And then I do something like
I guess you
sector.
don't have access to the drive-in objective.
Well, you mean like I would just create it and then tweak it afterwards?
Yeah.
That's also a possibility.
Then you don't need to keep adding things to all of the functions.
Yeah. I don't know where this will lead. I will just see. Shouldn't take too long to do that. And then in the caller, I'm saying I don't want to set numQ, so I'm setting that to undef, but then the additional parameter is set. And now I need to take a look into what is a drive device. How is this numQ set? So has numQs, and then how is it used? Push if def then that. Right. So then how about we just say has sector size, right? And then we replicate that and say push if def. I don't know how that's if def. Oh, here's the if self sector size. Y minus 1 not equal to what? Why not just this, I guess? So if sector size, then we push the if def something something. And we need the logical and the physical block size. So we would logical block size self sector size, comma, physical block size, self sector size, I guess. But you follow, I know that the editor looks a bit, well, it looks much more and more messy. What's going on there? I don't
Well,
know.
it's the block size, I'm guessing.
No, I mean the graphics artifacts.
Yeah, I'm joking, but it's readable.
Yeah. Looks fancy. Looks like there's a game overlaid. Maze architecture. So, okay, let's try it. A signature parameter must start with blockdevconf line 76. I don't know what that means. Ah, yeah, it means we are missing the dollar sign. And in 96, same. By the way, there's also a method add existing drive, which would also take that parameter numQs. We haven't added the sector size there. We might need that later. Bareword sector size not allowed in blockdevconf 98 because I also forgot dollar sign there. And now that failed because we have too many arguments for subroutine push if def. Yeah, right. So how about, yeah, that's a bit ugly. So if self sector size, let's do it in here. I don't know what the push if def really does here. But what we can say is we can construct a string and do the, wait a second. Why is it actually using this additional? Now I want to know what is push if def doing. Push if def. OpenQA qemu mut params. Push if def push array prefix dot val if defined val. Why then do we have that guarded by an if outside? I guess we don't need it then. The thing is, it only takes one pair of perimeters, but we need to set them both. We could do the following to say use the logical block size concatenated with the sector size concatenated with comma physical block size and then that perimeter. So it would really just have this as a string, which is one parameter, and then sector size as a second parameter. And I don't need that if at all then. All right, so we have, I guess, how can I scroll up here so that you see that as well? So it's teammate, which is tmarks, and then control B, and then this. Okay, so where did this start? So the structures begin with string, but those are all the tests which we didn't want to touch. So I guess we need to clean up afterward. But maybe the first thing is here. We got the command line without the block size, but we still expect the block size. And then we get use of uninitialized value in concatenation. But this is afterwards. I think we need to start here. Use of uninitialized value drive device 103.
That might just be because it's unset, I guess, in most cases.
Well, we concatenate and sector size isn't set.
Yeah, we don't have a default, right?
Right, and we don't want to set it in that case at all. That's what the push if def should do. But I'm feeling that the concatenation happens first before we have that set. So
Well, the previous line also has not equals there. So I assume the if def is not as conditional as it looks.
no, the thing is that we concatenate the string here, right? And we do that first, and then we call push if def, which would check if sector
I
size is
see
set.
the problem. So that
That's
would execute anyway.
yeah, so that's a specific problem here. So we will just do it by hand to say push that, and now we can concatenate that all together. Actually, we can turn it around and still use a post if because it's just one push command like this. Okay, so we push two params, the logical block size and the physical block size. And possibly we need a comma at the beginning. Yes, we need that. So that should get rid of the warnings. Yep, that looks good. This is the test which we added with the 4K sector size, and we're still not getting the block size. And we have a dollar sign. No, wait, that's just how Emate is showing the line. Right, so let's say the case, but okay, why do the other structures differ then? Now, this one says logical block size -1, physical block size -1. Where is that coming from? That looks like it's confusing parameters somewhat. So we have two problems. First, the parameter isn't set, and then second, it is set, but with the wrong value. And that is at line, let's look at the second case first. So line 135 in the test. So that's generating command line. And then we have the commands, and apparently the gen command line of proc then sets the parameter. So before we called this add what was it first? The add new drive, right? Where else is add new drive called? I guess then in qemu proc. Yes, it is. So
this should be called with no block size set, right?
yes, right. So it is just as num queues. Those are 4 parameters: node ID, model, size, and num queues, right? And here for add new drive, we have ID, model size, numQs. Why is it ending up in the sector size then? Oh, right. Because I put numQs in sector size.
Ah, that would make sense.
I should write sector size. That might
See,
actually
that's exactly what you wanted.
exactly. That might actually fix two tests now. Not exactly, but nearly there. So we have an additional comma. So a pair, yeah, of course, because I added the, where was that? Was it in 5D1? Yep. Yeah. Because we're just pushing to an array and then all the parameters are joined with a comma just enough. So that shouldn't be necessary. Neat. I don't know if you can still read that. For me, it
Yes,
says, oh, it's
I could see the
successful.
successful. Yeah.
I wonder if I can somehow clean up. It's really, this blocky artifacts don't go away. I wonder what happened.
I mean, it looks like screen burn, but I'm not sure where that's even coming from.
Yeah, but it's true what it says. There are known graphical bugs, right? Yep, we can see those. Okay. Right. Now, Jose, do we need to add that for existing drives as well, or is this only for creating new devices? I guess it's from existing image files which you want to attach, right?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good question because normally, so what we have is the two different images. One with 4K already prepared. I think that's the default one, and then we have this. Sorry, 4K.
Default is
This
512.
Yes, 512. Yes, sorry. And then we have the special one, which is a 4K and so on. And then this is the one that is not even booting, I think, right? So we would need to specify that on the image.
Yeah.
level.
Well, I guess it would have been even more helpful to just do that for existing drives, but fine. Let's re-execute that exercise then for an existing one. So what we do is I copy that, and then where we call it existing drive, I'm adding another test here. So I'm adding that again. I'm creating a new block dev conf again, and let's just use that well, but again with 4096 here. And then we called it generate qemu command line for existing drive with 4K sector size, right? So let's execute that test. Proper test driven development. I didn't mention that, but it should be obvious. Oops, sorry, you are not seeing that. So what I did is I just added this block here, which does now the same as before, but with add existing drive and a parameter 4096. Why is that a string? A number, right? Probably doesn't matter. Cool thing. So execute, and that fails because we got numQs, but expected the sector size. Actually, we do expect. I don't know what numQs are. And why would we have those? I don't know. Okay. Block dev conf. And then we have add new drive, add existing drive. And here at existing drive, we add sector size undev. And then we have push new drive dev, which already knows the sector size. So we just need to add the parameter there. All right. And then what happens? No effect. But why does it get numQs 4096? That's weird. What happens if I make that 8192? Yeah. So it somehow it takes the numQs parameter here. I don't understand why is that. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 to 5 something is 4, and then we have 5. And here we have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right. Of course. So I need to, that's the size of the existing drive. So get undev here, right? Good enough, except that now the value differs. Was expected. Let's go back to 496. Okay, cool. All tests work. What should we do next? Thank you. So let's see, can I find the actual, can I download that somewhere actually?
Yes, give me a second.
Maybe from existing.
You want the raw or the?
I guess.
I think so. It's better.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that one is also fine. That's the 524. Yeah, you can take it from there as well.
Okay. And then we need to get this value from somewhere from the higher level. So add existing drive takes the perimeter. And now the question is how those parameters are passed here. So is there something like numQs as a parameter? There's HDD numQs, and that's in OpenK qemu proc. So maybe we can do numQ. So configure block devs takes that one for each HDD. And then it says add existing drive, right? So that's the, let's say, the production call for existing as well as new drives. All right. So what we should be able to do is just sector size, be consistent. We would call it HDD sector size Sorry, without a separator in between. Let's keep it as undev, I guess, because that's how we probably handle it further below. And then when we set num queues, our sector size, that would be for existing drives, and this is the call for new drives. And like this. Okay. And now I have this file downloaded. Okay, let's, yeah, I guess I cannot do much with that PowerPC file for me locally. Anyway, we can just ISO to video HDD1 equals, and then the path. Getting that in another terminal. Wait for it. Like this. And exit after schedule. I delete that. What? No, like 0. It's doing something and extracting an exec compressed file. Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is always very time consuming.
How long will
You know,
it take?
sometimes, yeah, normally around 1 minute or so.
All
1 or
right.
2 minutes, maximum 2 minutes, I would say. Depends on how big the image. And I was thinking that since IBS is delivering a lot of
Job, we could do it. I mean, we could on targets like after async, but on the target, because we are actually executing that async from OSD, right? Yeah, you know what?
to uncompress it, and then
I don't think
yeah,
it.
it's
Yeah, we don't need to test must about that PowerPC image. You know, let's just block size 1 megabyte null my dot raw, because I'm not doing anything useful with that file anyway. It needs to see that uncompressing works, and I'm saying my dot raw. I just want to see the log output where it would tell that it would start, would not open no such file directory. Or didn't I put it there? I guess it was just deleted. And temp raw would not open temp my raw, no such file directory. Where is it going? Temp my raw. Oh, DD isn't doing anything. Why not? Because, yes, because it's not def null, but 0. That's what I wanted. Yes? No. Because I put an equal sign there. Now we are talking. Okay, so I created a dummy 1 megabyte empty file, and I just want to see, I didn't specify the sector size yet. I just want to see, here we have the complete command line. I can abort that and go back a little bit. So what we see is just at the very end, there's this device doesn't have any sector size. And now HDD sector size 1 4096, was it like this? Not exactly, I didn't see it. Hold on. HDD sector size _1. That should match. HDD sector size. Right. Let's try World Debugger. I know what I did wrong. I just called ISO video from path, which is my system installed ISO video. So it's a really good test that we can backward compatibly in a backward compatible way specify those parameters, and they are not harmful on an older ISO video version. I want to call the new ISO video version mine, and then module named test RP because I need to set the include path, I guess, maybe. I don't even need that. I need to build it. Yes. That looks better. And we have like the output and now we have a logical block cycle physical block size. Yay! So, what do you think?
Can you? I have a slow connection now, and then while scrolling on the screen, the compression is very bad. So can you leave it for a couple of seconds? Okay, now it's coming.
Yeah, wait. So this is red about, okay, that's an error we should ignore for now. Now there's the longer block with the qemu command line, and at the very end.
I see that. Okay, physical block size.
Yes.
There was also a comment from Michal Susanek that there was this also, yeah, logical block size. Is that also included in the
Both is
command?
set, yes. I set both. I mean, the same as Santi did it in his approach here. It's just that the thing which 469 didn't do yet is the by number, and he put it in a different place. So, and only set the well, push if def in both cases one after another. So yeah, this might also work, and so the next step for the change, I don't care who can continue there. I will provide my version as well. is to add a small documentation for the attributes and mention the variable in the backend vars document, and then we can continue from there. But I would say good enough for the session to show the idea, and I wanted to try it out if we can actually manage to do something useful. I didn't really know the backend code that well. I mean, it only did like minor syntax changes and formatting and such so far. But yeah, I guess it's promising. So with that, any last minute questions or notes from your side regarding how we did this today?
I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, what's considering little prior knowledge, we're very successful, I think.
And always the limitations of having an artificially limited screen space, because I want to have something which is at least barely readable. Normally, of course, I would like run the tests in a second window and use a bigger editor that would provide more overview and would make it easier to understand like what's just going on in the method next to it. There would be less line wrapping and such.
Are you on a vertical screen or?
No, this is really just sharing the complete screen. Sharing just a portion of the screen. I would like to see how it looks like, and I need to be in a meeting, and I need to have the terminal window. So it could be a bit wider.
It's fine. It's fine.
But
No worries.
yeah, no, I don't want to mess it up. No. Okay, cool. So with that, thank you guys and goodbye.